Hello, everyone. This is Dan Gramza, and welcome to dangramza.com Market Studies for Monday, June 22nd. Well, if you haven't looked at these markets before, in the futures markets on Friday, even though it was a holiday, national holiday, we had shortened trading sessions. These markets we're going to be looking at closed at 12 o'clock Chicago time on Friday. So we had a way to see how the market was absorbing information going into the weekend. Now they'll start trading again Sunday night, 5 o'clock Chicago time. And anything that happens in between, we're going to see that reflected on the opening on Sunday night Chicago time, 5 o'clock. Well, let's see how this market, you're looking at a daily chart. The green line represents buying, the red line represents selling, a dashed line means it's something that happened earlier in the week. So you can go to dangramza.com, look at a week ago, and you would see how these lines would change over time. And right now here for the S&P, well, the dollar difference, just to give you a feel of that magnitude of change from the sell level down or buy to that sell level, just to give you a feel for that, that's $2,100 a contract. And the difference between the buy and sell level here is $500 a contract. Be careful here. This is not a confident way to go into the weekend. They're buying the break, which means buyers did come back in. But do we have a deal, not have a deal in the Iranian situation? The talks that were scheduled for Friday were canceled. So is this a tactic to delay things? Is that what we're seeing? So the market's really trying to figure out how to digest that type of information. Over here in the NASDAQ market, just again to give you a feel for what's going on there, the dollar differences between these red and green lines is $2,640 a contract. When we look at what's going on with the Dow, its composition is different than the S&P and the NASDAQ. It doesn't have the same amount of tech stock exposure. And here, the bias is actually for a move to the upside. The difference in this buy to sell level in the Dow is $9,855 a contract. When we look at the Russell, the small to mid-sized companies, the buy to sell level there in that market is $5,200 a contract. And again, we have what I call a false sense of security. So be careful here on the long side. And in the euro, the dollar got weaker, US dollar. The euro got stronger on that shortened session. Now, this is bullish going into the weekend. So it's a very interesting structure. Can they follow through? The buy to sell level here, $812.50. What about the Swissy? Swissy's in the same boat. It's breaking lower. US dollar was stronger, but we didn't see that bounce. But here we're bouncing in a sense of buyers coming in at the same level. We've seen that before. So again, an interesting structure. Dollar difference up here, buy to sell, $125 a contract. Mr. Yen is grinding its way lower. Look for an inside day on Monday. The dollar difference here in that market, again, just to give you a feel for that, is $125 a contract, that sell to buy level. Well, what about the Aussie dollar? Breaking lower, look for a sideways move on Monday. British pound also at a spot where we could see a bounce. Be careful if you're on the short side for that market. Canadian dollar, it's in the same boat. Continued downward pressure. That means the US dollar is stronger against this currency. Look for that to continue. Bitcoin, it's also a market that's struggling a bit. It's trying to get a sense of direction, and we're not really seeing it coming into fruition yet, but it is bouncy. It means that there's buyers coming in. Let's see on Monday, can they follow through in that market? So it's also an interesting structure. Dollar difference, that buy to the sell level is $5,000 a contract. Over in the 10-year notes, look for continued downward pressure because the uncertainty increases yields and that causes prices to go lower. In the Treasury bonds, the 30-year bonds in the same boat, dollar difference buy to sell level, $250 a contract. And if the Middle East situation stays shaky, look for further movement to the downside. Same thing holds true for gold. It's a market that people are looking for it to go up on. But again, you got to watch the yield on the 10-year notes. Buy to sell level there in that market, $5,500 a contract. Silver also breaking lower. Buyers are coming back in, but can they follow through? The buy to sell level in that market is $3,350 a contract. When we look at what's going on with copper, fundamentally it's bullish. Price action, it's soft. It implies a sideways move in this market, and that's what I'm looking for on Monday. Not a big move up or down. Dollar difference buy to sell level, $4,500 a contract. Crude oil breaking lower, but we're slowing down some. That uncertainty is reflected here. And the dollar difference sell to buy level in that market is $10,130 a contract. Let's see what's going on with nat gas. Not much. Looking for a sideways move in this market as well. It wants to go higher fundamentally. It's bullish. Price action, we're not seeing buyers supporting this market. And the dollar difference here is $1,100 a contract. The grains, well, they were not trading on Friday, and in beans, people are waiting to see what happens with China. Are they going to come here and buy our corn or buy our beans that you just saw? Or here in wheat, that dollar difference of buy to sell level in that market is $1,150 a contract. Well, those are my thoughts for today. Hope you are doing well, and I'm looking forward to being with you again. In the meantime, take care.